Welcome to the greatest show of all time!
That exhibit that we just played. Whose voice is that?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Objection.
You may answer, sir.
It's...
Please remove your face mask and face the witness.
I'm confused. He made a statement about the voice.
The question's been asked and answered. Please remove your mask.
What's the question?
Please remove your mask and face the witness.
Mr. Ryder.
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant as the person depicted in this video and the person who was on his porch on November 21.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Go ahead, your next question, please.
Did Mr. Brooks leave your home at some point?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. You may answer.
I guess while we're waiting, we can make use of this time. Mr. Ryder, could you read the time and date stamp for us on the bottom right-hand corner?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021.
Remember, Mr. Brooks was saying into the phone.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Go ahead and answer, please.
Not to be called that name. Thank you.
And specifically, if you can, the area where you saw Mr. Brooks head for the lobby of the building.
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name again for the record.
Jury will disregard that last comment by the
The area where you first encountered Mr. Brooks, is that actually shown in this photograph?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
jury will disregard that comment.
I don't consent for the record.
Go ahead and answer, ma'am. It's more.
Is that what Mr. Brooks looked like that evening when you spoke to him?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Go ahead and answer.
Do you record a description that you gave at that time?
I do. Well, my best of my knowledge was that you were either black, Latino,
Who's you?
or mixed.
Who's you?
Well, you have to let him answer the question first before you interrupt him with another one. Go ahead with the description you provided that night.
I was positive it was you.
Who's you?
You. I'm looking at you.
And how did you come to that conclusion, the you conclusion?
I'm looking at you.
How did you come to that conclusion? Did you knowledge of who the person was in your backyard? Would that be fair to say?
I had no idea who you were.
And so how can you say how can you say you then if you had no idea?
I'm looking at you. You were the guy.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
You and I were standing in the same yard looking at each other.
So, is it possible you saw something on the news?
No, I had no idea who you were.
Interesting.
I didn't have a tape measure out. It was just a guesstimate.
Would it be fair to say that since you keep identifying me as you, would it be fair to say that I'm not 5'9" nor 160 pounds?
You have your shoes on or off right now?
Would it be fair to say that I'm not 5'9", 160 pounds?
If you take your shoes off and step out of them, they could have a better...
I'm not going to have them do that, but if you're able to answer the question, do you agree?
I'd have to be standing next to him. That's what I made my judgment from. We were about 2 feet from each other.
Does it look like I'm 5'9"?
I don't know, we were a lot closer.
Does it look like I'm 160 pounds?
Objection.
Grounds.
It's irrelevant as to his appearance today, just like his hair isn't in dreadlocks today.
Sustained.
Objection.
Question.
Grounds for the sustain.
You carried ice chips.
Yes.
Do you know who that was last year?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled. You may answer.
Grounds for the overrule.
I should.
You can answer.
Okay. Yes, Bill. One of our dance.
Objection. We have yet to see what's being talked about being shown.
Does Mr.
It's up now.
Brooks have a copy?
I believe it's up in front of him now.
All right, give him a minute to look at it.
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, nor do I agree to being called that name.
This exhibit 53 into evidence and publish it for the jury.
Objection.
Overruled. Exhibit 53 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Grounds for the overrule.
Ma'am, I'm going to play it straight through, and then we'll go back and go through it and pause it occasionally for you to identify everyone, okay?
Objection. Grounds for the overrule, Your Honor.
The state may continue.
Is that a legal determination that you don't have to give me the grounds for the overrule, as I've objected on the
Mr.
record?
Brooks, stop interrupting. I've made my ruling. Let's keep going. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I ask for a written judicial finding of facts and conclusion of law. Or is that a tactic agreement, Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have any redirect for this witness? Mr. Brooks, do you have any further questions for Mr. Marquez? The record should reflect that Mr. Brooks is reading out of a book. He has not answered the question. I will ask one more time. Sir, do you have any further questions for Mr. Marquez?
Am I unmuted?
You are. You have been.
What's going on?
Do you have any redirect questions for Mr. Marquez? This is your opportunity to ask any follow-up questions that you have for this witness.
Say something. I'm trying to see if the headphones on. It's supposed to be on the service channel. Can someone say something from the other courtroom?
Have any questions for Mr. Marquez at this time? It's your opportunity to ask follow-up questions. The state indicated it did not have any additional questions.
Nope, I don't got no follow-up question.
All right, thank you. Then, Mr. Marquez, I'm going to ask Mr. Brooks one more time if he would like to come back to this courtroom and if he's willing to conduct himself with dignity, respect, and decorum.
But for the record, I don't consent to being called that name, and I never stated that I wanted to be removed from the courtroom.
All right, I'm going to mute Mr. Brooks. He is clearly not answering my question.
Is Your Honor willing to tell me why I'm being held in contempt?
I did not hold you in contempt, sir. I've already indicated that.
Removing me from the courtroom is like holding me in contempt.
I didn't hold you in contempt. You were removed pursuant to the authority given to me by the United States Supreme Court in Illinois.
Did Mr. Brooks at all talk to you about the loitering in terms of what the focus of your investigation was that night?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name. Leading the witness.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
You police department with the defendant?
Objection. Respectfully to you.
Overruled.
Yes, he did.
Why was that?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
That was Muskoge's request.
So did you return to the city of Muskego Police Department the next day, November 22nd, to speak with Mr. Brooks again?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, I did.
as to the form of the question, it was actually compound. If you could rephrase.
How did you approach the questioning of Mr. Brooks on the 22nd?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
So initially, what were you speaking with Mr. Brooks about when he was describing doing something with metal?
Objection, leading, and I do not consent to being called that name.
Overruled as to both objections, the witness may answer. To what the state brings up regarding the redacted recording, I would remind Mr. Brooks the court did enter some rulings previously. Why do you have to roll your eyes at me? Let's start the morning off on a good note,
I didn't
sir.
roll my eyes at you, so I don't think it's fair that you should say I rolled my
I
eyes
saw
at
you roll your eyes at me, and
I
I'm
didn't
not
roll
debating
my
about
eyes at you, so don't do that.
Well, Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate a little bit more respect. These
I would too,
rulings,
Your Honor.
let me finish, because now you're interrupting me. These rulings were entered by the court. Well, it needs to be other than subject matter jurisdiction, so what is it?
You didn't even let me get to it.
I said, what is it? I said it needs to be something other than subject matter jurisdiction.
Can I
What
get
is
to
it?
it?
You can say.
There's no way to know what I'm going to say if I can't say it.
Mr. Brooks, please tell me what it is you'd like to address.
I want to address why my ICFs have not been addressed, because I know you have them. Why have I not getting copies? I've gotten copies of every other ICF. Why not the recent ones?
Sir, I am not going to be the intermediary anymore for ICFs that are directed to the because of this very issue. It
So you
takes
say
up
so
court
now
time.
it changes? So now it changes all of a sudden?
No, it didn't change all of a sudden, sir, and you know that. So don't try to confuse
Does
the
it
record.
change all of a suddenly? Because
No,
I've been getting copies of everything I've sent, which is what you asked me to do.
This changed last week, and you know that.
It shouldn't change.
So
no, I
with
don't
that,
know it.
I'm bringing the jury out, and I'm not addressing this issue.
So
sir.
I want
We're
the
gonna
copy of
continue
my
forward.
ICFs that I send.
Send the request to the
I don't
clerk's
have to
office.
send her another request. Where's the one that I just sent last week?
All right, the jury is going to come out, so please be respectful.
I will, but at the same time, you still have to. I did what you asked me to do. If you tell me to do something and I do it, and then now you're saying I'm not going to get a copy, which you've been providing them ever since you told me to do it.
Mr. Brooks, the rules on that changed last week.
No, it did not. I'm still supposed to be able to say if it's been received or not. So why should I have to send multiple ICFs to even know if they've been received? That's ridiculous, Your
I'm
Honor.
going to give the parties the final version of jury instruction 60, which I will be reading at the appropriate time.
Come on, you can't change stuff at the last minute. You
Well,
asked me
Mr.
to do
Brooks, I
something.
did it as a courtesy,
You
and
asked-
frankly,
No.
you're not courteous.
I'm not
So,
even.
The
I'm
jury's
not even.
coming out.
I'm not even
The
referring
record
to
should
that.
reflect that the jury
I'm
is
referring to the
coming
fact. I'm
out.
referring to the fact that you
All
haven't
right.
even
Mr.
had enough
Brooks,
respect to tell
please
me
be
it's been
respectful
received.
to the jury. They're coming out.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to tell me if my ICF has been received. ICFs that you told me to submit. You told me that.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will disregard the commentary by Mr.
I
Brooks
accept
at
for
this
value in
point.
return for value this document. Just like you've been hiding everything from the jury that they
The
need to
jury
hear.
will disregard. The court is not hiding anything from the jury.
Yeah, you are.
So,
Yeah, you
Mr.
are.
Brooks, please be respectful of the jury. They're
And
coming out.
You should be respectful
We
of
are,
what you asked
you are
me to
addressing
do.
issues that are not related to evidence
They
in
are.
this case.
You asked me to do
Mr.
something, I do
Brooks,
it,
please.
and
All
then
right.
now it changes.
Everyone can be seated. Thank you.
This is ridiculous. Just like subject matter jurisdiction hasn't been proved. Just like you're making judicial determinations that you don't have to prove anything by law, which is a tacit agreement by you, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please disregard the